Welcome to the lecture series on microcontroller programming, and we are looking at the languages that are used to program the 8051 microcontroller, and we are discussing the basics of those languages. And in the previous class we have discussed what is mean by machine language, assembly language, and a high level language, uh, which are used to program the 8051 at various levels. And we have also seen the various differences between these three levels of languages to program 8051. And there we opted for assembly level programming to program the 8051 because of some of the advantages which discussed under the topic need for assembly level programming. And in today's lecture we look at how the instruction can be written and what are the various the structure or format of the instruction, and we also look at the classification of the instruction set. So the topic of discussion is need for instruction set. So before going to the topic directly, look at what is meant by instruction and what is meant by instruction set and what is the need for instruction set when you want to program a microcontroller like 8051. So basically you know that the microcontroller is a programmable device that can be used to perform particular task. So a task may contain number of basic operations, and when all the basic operations are performed by microcontroller, it completes the whole task. And to perform each and every operation, the microcontroller requires an instruction from the programmer. Programmer means one who writes programs for microcontroller or one who gives instruction for the microcontroller. So each instruction, I can say that it tells a small operation that is to be carried out by your microcontroller, right? So instructions written for a microcontroller tells the operations that are to be carried out. So when we write one instruction means the microcontroller, after understanding that instruction, it carries out a small operation. And if we write a different instruction means the microcontroller understands that it has to carry out some other different operation. Right, so then what is meant by instruction set? So you can see that we are saying that one instruction tells the microcontroller to do one operation and another instruction tells the microcontroller to carry out a different operation. So how many different operations can be carried out by a given microcontroller, and who is deciding that? So basically every microcontroller can perform a certain number of operations based on or corresponding to its design. The person who has designed the microcontroller will decide the operations that can be carried out by the microcontroller, and for each operation that is to be carried out by the microcontroller, he specifies one instruction. And when you combine or when you group or when you call this uh, when you combine all these instructions, that becomes an instruction set for that particular microcontroller. You can see that So a group of instructions are commands that a microcontroller can understand is called the instruction set for the controller. Or you can see that the person who has designed the microcontroller, he has set up these instructions or a group of instructions, and this group of instructions are only the instructions that are executed by the given microcontroller, and this group of instructions is called an instruction set. And you can see that the instruction set is unique to the family of microcontrollers. If I see that it's a 5-1 family of microcontroller, then all the instructions are executed by the controllers from the same family. And if you give the instruction to a microcontroller of different family, the microcontroller may or may not understand the instruction. So that's why the instruction set is unique to the given family of microcontrollers. You can see that what an instruction set will tell you. It tells you the instructions that can be understand are executed by the given microcontroller, and each instruction set or each instruction from the instruction set, when executed by the microcontroller, it performs a primitive operation. So I can say that instruction set provides the set of primitive operations which are combined together by programmer to realize a given task. So when a programmer wants to realize a given task using microcontroller, the task cannot be realized by a single instruction, but it can be realized by a group of instructions written in one particular sequence, and each instruction set is meant for a primitive operation. And when all instructions are executed, it means all primitive operations are performed, the microcontroller achieves a given task. And the instruction set is also required for us to assess the internal registers and internal and external memory of the microcontroller. You know that the microcontroller has many number of registers, that it has certain amount of internal memory and certain amount of external accessible memory, and to access all these, that means you need to instruct a controller to access all this. That means you need instructions. That means you need instruction set. And this instruction set is also required to make the optimal or efficient use of the microcontroller hardware. So microcontroller has many other hardware on the same IC, that is like ports and memory and timers and counters, and to make efficient use of all these you require instructions, and that is the instruction set. So we'll look at the various instructions that are there for your 8051 microcontroller in detail in the later chapters. So before going to see all the instructions, the various instructions that exist or that understood by the microcontroller 8051, we'll look at the basic instruction format, or how the instruction written for 8051 and what are the various parts of the general instruction. So that is the instruction format of 8051. So here you can see that the instruction is a command to the microprocessor, or I can say microcontroller, to perform a given task on a specified data. So when instruction is meant for the microcontroller to perform certain operation, the operation must be performed on certain specified data. And here you can see that all the instruction or each instruction that is written for 8051 has two parts in general. Okay, some of the instructions may miss one or one of the part, but overall in general each instruction has two parts, and the name of the two parts are: first part of the instruction is named as opcode, and second part of the instruction is named as operand. And you can see what is meant by the opcode and what is meant by the operand part, or what the first part of the instruction specifies and what the second part of instruction tells. So these two parts of the instruction tells the microcontroller something, specifies the microcontroller something. So what the first part specifies, the opcode is a short form for actually operation code, specifies the microcontroller about what? About the task to be performed. So we have seen that each instruction is a command to the microprocessor to perform a given task on specified data. So that means the microcontroller is given one instruction, means we are telling the microcontroller to perform a particular task on a specified data. So what is that particular task? What is that data? So what is that particular task is mentioned or specified by opcode. What is that particular data on which the operation is to be performed is specified by the second part, operand. So here I go again. Opcode or operation code specifies the task to be performed by the microcontroller, and operand specifies the data on which the operation is to be performed on. Right? So the instruction overall will tell the microcontroller what is the task to be performed and on which data. So the task to be performed is specified by the first part of the instruction of code, and the data on which the task operation is to be performed is specified by the second part of the data, that is operand. And you can see that the opcode is always takes one byte of data. That means opcode part of the instruction is always 1 byte of data or 8 bits of data, or it will occupy one memory location. Right? So one memory location means it can accommodate only 1 byte. So here opcode is always 1 byte, or it occupies 1 byte of the memory or one memory location of the memory. And the same way, and the operand field or operand part of the instruction may be a register, or maybe registers, or maybe a data which can be 8 bit or 16 bit, or the operand part may be address of certain memory location. That means the address can be 8 bit address or 16 bit address. So here you be clear with what is opcode, what is operand. Okay, these are the two parts of the instruction. Opcode specifies the task to be performed by the microcontroller when you write the particular instruction, and operand specifies the data on which that operation is to be performed when you write that particular instruction. And you can see that the opcode is always 1 byte, and opcode is always the mnemonic. Since we will be using the machine assembly language, opcode is always a mnemonic, and it occupies only 1 byte of data. And operand can be anything like, so operand actually specifies the data, so that the data can be either specified by a register, or by registers, or by an 8-bit data, or by 16-bit data, or by an 8-bit address. So 8-bit address of any memory location, or 16-bit address of any memory location. So we'll look at one example and we'll see how the instruction format will be like. Okay, so the operand part may consist of two fields, and here again goes the operand part may contain may consist two fields. One is called source, another is called destination. So what are all these? We can clearly understand if we take an example instruction, and we'll see where is the opcode part and where is operand part for that instruction. So we'll take an instruction example add. Add is a mnemonic for the operation addition. So add a comma rn, and here you can see that in the this is the total instruction, and this instruction can be broken into two parts. One is called opcode part and another is called operand part. So this ADD, the mnemonic, is the opcode part of the instruction. And what the opcode part has to specify? Opcode part has to specify the task to be performed or the operation to be performed. So what this add is actually specifying? It is specifying the microcontroller that the operation to be performed is addition. So but addition is to be performed on which data? So the addition to be performed on which data, and who will tell you that? So addition to be performed on certain data, and that data is specified by the operand part, and here the operand part is this a comma rn. And we already said that the operand part may be a register or registers. So here the operand part is registers, two registers, and the first register is called destination register, comma, and the second one is called source registers. So I can tell you that this ADD is the opcode part, which tells you the operation, that it is the addition operation to be carried out, and the second part is operand part, which tells the where the data is present on which the operation is to be performed. So all these specifications, all these are specified by the instruction to the microcontroller. So I can give the overall meaning of this instruction, that it is this instruction uh, is a command to the microcontroller which tells the microcontroller that you perform addition operation on one of the data byte present in register A and another data byte present in register Rn, and store the result in the accumulator or register A itself. Similarly, so here Rn is actually not a register name, but it is general name for the registers R0 to R7. So that means Rn can be any register from R0 or R1, R2, R3, R2 up to R7, any one. So similarly, we have the second example, ADD A comma #45H. So here the first part of the instruction is ADD, which is the opcode part, and which tells again the microcontrollers that it is the addition operation that is to be performed. And next we can see the remaining part is the operand part, where the operand part here it is a register and an 8-bit data. So here it is 45H. 45 is the hexadecimal number. The H specifies that 45 is the hexadecimal number. And how I can say that this 45 is a data or address? I am saying that it is a data, but how somebody may get doubt that it can be an address. So here we have used a symbol called hash before this 45H. This hash symbol specifies that this 45H is 8-bit data, right? So here I can see that the operand part is a register and an 8-bit data. So the overall meaning of the instruction is that it specifies the microcontroller that if perform addition operation on the data. So addition operation is always performed on two different data. So one data is present in your accumulator register, another data is directly given here in the instruction, that is 45H. So add this 45H to the data present in accumulator and store the result in the accumulator or register A itself. So this is the command given to the microcontroller by writing the instruction add A comma hash 45H. So overall we can see that the instruction is a command to the microprocessor to perform a given task on a specified data, and the task or the operation to be performed is specified by the opcode part, and the operand part specifies the data on which the operation is to be performed, right? So this is how the format of the every instruction of 8051 looks like. And next we'll look at some classification of all the instructions that are present in 8051 based on the size of instructions, or that means how many bytes of memory is required by the instruction when it is stored in the memory. So you can see that each and every instruction that we write for 8051 to execute are not directly executed by the controller, but they are stored in the memory, first internal memory first, and later they are read by the controller. So first, whatever the instruction that we write for 8051, first they have to be stored inside the memory, where we have seen that the memory is organized into 1 byte memory locations. That means each memory location can accommodate 1 byte of data. So here data means either data or address. So here you can see that we have number of instructions that can be written for 8051, and now we are classifying all those instructions based on how many bytes are based on the size or length of the instruction. That means how many bytes that the instruction takes when you want to store it in the memory. So here it goes, all the instructions are classified into three groups. First group is 1 byte instructions, and second group is 2 byte instructions, and third one is 3 byte instructions. So that means if a instruction takes only 1 byte, or if the instruction size is only 1 byte, it will come under 1 byte instructions group. And if the instruction takes 2 bytes, or if its size is 2 bytes, it will come under 2 byte instruction. Or if the instruction size is 3 bytes, then it will come under 3 byte instruction. So whatever may be the group to which the instruction belongs to, the first byte is always opcode, and subsequent bytes are operands. So operand here means either it is address or data. So you always see that the first byte of any instruction, whether it belongs to any of these three groups, the first byte is always opcode, and it takes 1 byte of data. So now we will discuss in detail about the three groups of instructions. So coming to the first one, the 1 byte instructions. So 1 byte instruction means the instruction size is of only 1 byte. So we have already seen that whatever may be the size of instruction, or whatever may be the group to which the instruction belongs to, the 1 byte, 2 byte or 3 byte instruction, the first byte is always opcode. So now we can see that the in 1 byte instructions, the size of the whole instruction is itself is 1 byte, and we already said that The opcode is must for every instruction, and you can see that the opcode always takes 1 byte. And here I can say that the 1 byte instruction contains only opcode. Then what about the operands? So for 1 byte instruction, the operands are present in registers or they are implicit. That means implicit means automatically understood by the controller. That means the operands, that means the data on which the operation is to be performed, either present in registers, and you can see that the registers will not take any memory because they are separate registers, separate um, parts of the 8051 which doesn't take any memory or which doesn't require any storage. And we have another 1 byte instructions where no need to mention any operands, but by seeing the opcode itself, the microcontroller understands where the operands are present. So to explain this, we have taken two examples here. So instruction requires one memory location to store. So 1 byte instruction requires, since it is of only 1 byte size and each memory location can accommodate only 1 byte, you can say that the 1 byte instruction requires one memory location to store. So first example is ADD A comma R1, and here you can see this ADD is opcode and it requires 1 byte of one memory location, and you can see that the opcode part, it contains two registers. So that means the data on which the operation is to be performed, the addition operation is to be performed, are stored in register A and one more data is stored in register R1. So we mentioned the names of the registers in the operand part. So it doesn't take any memory, but only the opcode ADD takes 1 byte of memory. So I can say that the total instruction size is 1 byte only. And we have another instruction that is NOP. NOP stands for no operation. So no operation is just an opcode. So no operation is an instruction where in that instruction only a opcode is present, which is NOP, and there are no operands. So NOP is an opcode which specifies the microcontroller to perform no operation, that means sit idle. So to sit idle, it has to perform the operation on certain operands, but there are no operands but that are automatically understood by your controller. So here operands are not specified but they are automatically understood. So it contains only opcode and the opcode takes 1 byte, and the whole instruction I can also say that it takes 1 byte. So it will come under 1 byte instruction. So general representation for the 1 byte instruction is opcode. Opcode takes 1 byte, and if at all there is operand, operands are registers. So next we'll go to the second one, that is 2 byte instruction, the second group, into which certain instructions will fall under this category, the 2 byte instruction. So that means the total instruction size is 2 bytes. That means when it is stored in the memory, it takes 2 memory locations. And you can see the general format of the 2 byte instruction is shown here. Here you can see that the first byte always represents opcode, and the second byte here it represents either 8-bit address or data directly in the instruction. So 8-bit address or data is directly specified as second byte in the instruction itself. So the size of the total instruction becomes 1 plus 1, 2 bytes. And here you can see that the first byte represents opcode and second byte represents either 8-bit data or address. So here we will go with two examples. One example, ADD A comma hash 54H. So here ADD is the opcode which specifies the operation, addition operation, and you can come to the operand part. Here operand part, the destination operand is A, register A, its name is specified, and the source operand is 8-bit data. 54H means 54 is the hexadecimal number, and when it is converted to binary, it is of 1 byte data. So, and why, how I am specifying this is data itself. So, before this 54H, we have hash symbol. So that means 54H is data, not the address. So, that means here the instruction size is 2 byte, 1 byte is for opcode, and the second byte is for the 8-bit data. So, please observe that this register A exists separately in the controller, so it doesn't take any memory to store. And next here, move second instruction, which will also come under the 2-byte instruction group, is move 78H comma A. So here you can see that the MOV stands, mnemonic stands for the move operation or copy operation, not exactly move operation, but it is copy operation. So which is the opcode of the instruction. So it takes 1 byte, and when you come to the operand part, it contains 2. 78H is the destination operand, and A is the register A is the source operand. And here you can see that 78H is the 8-bit address of certain memory location. How I am saying that this is an address? So you can see that before 78 we don't have any hash. We don't have any hash, so it is address. So if a number is preceded with hash, it is a data. If a number doesn't have any hash before this number, then it is a address. So here it is 78H is 8-bit address, it is 1 byte, and MOV is the opcode, it is 1 byte. So totally the instruction size is of 2 bytes. So next we'll go to the last category, the 3-byte instruction. So the 3-byte instruction means the size of the instruction is 3 bytes, and you know that automatically the operand, sorry, this is opcode. Sorry, this is the first part is opcode. So opcode will take the first byte. I am correcting here itself. This is opcode part. So the opcode is always the first byte of the instruction, and you can see then what can be the second and third byte of the instruction. The second and third byte are either 16-bit data. This is the first. So there are 4 cases. So the format will be opcode 16-bit data D5 to D0, or a different variation for this 2-byte instruction, 3-byte instruction is first byte will be opcode, and second byte and third byte will be a 16-bit data A15 to A0. So you have another instruction. You may have another instruction where the first byte will be opcode, the second byte will be 8-bit data, third byte will be 8-bit address. And you can have another variation for this 3-byte instruction. First byte will be opcode, second byte will be 8-bit address, third byte will be 8-bit data. So that means we have first byte is always opcode, the second and third byte can be both 16-bit address or 16-bit data or 8-bit data and 8-bit address. So we will go with some examples, some instructions which fall into the category of 3-byte instruction. So first one is MOV DPTR comma hash 5678H. You can see that 5678H is the data. Okay, so there is a hash, so 5678H is the data. And you can see what is the instruction. MOV takes 1 byte, DPTR is the register name, so it will not take anything, and 5678 is a 16-bit data. So this will come under the first category, opcode 16-bit data. Second and third byte will be 16-bit data. So this belongs to the first category, first type of instruction. And next one is MOV 57H 78H. You can see that before 5778 you don't have any hash, so both are the addresses of the internal RAM. You can see that MOV takes 1 byte, 57H is one byte of address, 78H is the another byte of address. So where is this opcode? 16-bit address, 8-bit address, 8-bit address. And next one more type is MOV 34H comma hash 99H. So hash 99H is the data, 34H is the address. So MOV takes 1 byte, 34H 1 byte of address, 99H is 1 byte of data. So we can say that this is the format opcode A7 to A0, second byte address, third byte will be D7 to D0 data. So all the instructions will fall under into any one of these three categories that we write for 8051. Either there will be a 1 byte instruction, 2 byte instruction and 3 byte instruction maximum. So look at one more type of classification based on the type of operation they perform. So the total instruction set, or all the instructions are classified again into a different classification into 5 groups, and this classification is based on the type of operation performed. So the first category is data transfer group. That means the data is transferred from one memory location to other memory location, or one register to other register, or register to memory location, or memory location to register. So that means the data is simply copied from one location to other, or data is simply transferred. Okay, so here the data transfer doesn't exactly mean it is complete transfer of the data, but it is copying of, but it is simply the copying of the data. Okay, and so some instructions will fall under this, into this category, and there are some instructions which will come under the arithmetic group of instructions, and when you write those instructions the controller will perform some arithmetic operations. So all those instructions will come under arithmetic group of instructions. And next we have logical group of instructions. So some instructions will perform the logical operations, logical AND, logical OR, logical NOT operation, right shift operation, left shift operation of the bits, left shift of the bits, right shift of the bits. So all these operations are performed by certain instructions, and those instructions will come under logical group. And next we have branch group of instructions and Boolean group of instructions. So we'll look at, so what is meant by branch group of instructions. So when we write number of instructions in the sequence, we call it as a program. So when you want to, so normally program executes in sequence, that means one instruction after the other. If you want to change the instruction sequence, then you require some instruction to be written separately, and those instructions will come under branch group of instructions. And Boolean group of instructions, when you want to perform the logical operations on bits, then you require certain instructions that will come under Boolean group of instructions.